All right, and we are live. Welcome to Tokyo Love Show, episode 9. What is it like dating Japanese girls? We actually have a freaking awesome panel here. We have an all-guy panel for the first time ever. We're going to be talking about what a lot of you guys want to know, because a lot of you guys are part of the Passport Bro movement. A lot of you guys just think, hey, I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Tokyo. I want to date Japanese girls. Today's episode, we have an amazing panel. Take a look at all these guys that we got here on the show here. Nice little diverse panel. And we're going to be breaking it down for everybody. So we're going to jump right into it. If this is your first time here, hit that like, hit that comment, hit that subscribe. I'm Jonathan from modernlifedating.com. And we are going to give you an amazing show today. So without further ado, we're going to go around the room. And I want to know a couple things from you guys. I want you to know, what is your name? What is your age? Where are you from, and why did you come to Tokyo? We're going to start immediately to my right here with a good friend of mine. Welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. I'm Mario. I'm from Slovakia. I came to Japan 5 years ago, and I'm 46, and I came to Japan to pursue my opportunities in work in my area, my job.
What do you do for a living, by the way? We're going to add that as well.
I work in IT area as an engineer.
Yeah.
And Japan has great... For me, Japan is like a hardware development country, so I saw the opportunities here. So I'm actually happy to be part of that.
Yeah, you're uncharacteristically shy right now. Come on, man. You're just jumping off the walls here. Now the camera's like, you're shy?
Surrounded by cool guys.
Next up, we have a familiar face, a friend who has been on the channel before, a long time running gentleman. Welcome aboard.
What is up? Johannes here again. Half Austrian, half Japanese, 37 years old. I was born in Japan, grew up in Austria, lived in Germany for a while, and I came to Japan because I was unhappy in Germany like 7.5 years ago. Main reason was really dating. Like, I wanted to grow in game and get better with the girls. Was one big thing, and they just didn't look feminine enough to me. So I came here. That was one reason.
German girls were not feminine enough for you?
Yeah. I just didn't like it. Northern Germany, Hamburg. Met lots of great guys. Still my best friends are from there. And I came here, so dating was one thing. Tokyo was very appealing for me a few years ago, like 7 years ago. And also business-wise. So I'm half Japanese, I speak the language, I have a Japanese nationality, so I just saw some opportunity. And I first wanted to work again in media, as I did in Germany, but then I decided to do my own thing, and I became a dating coach. So I'm like a full professional dating coach now, year 7, never have worked any other job, and yeah, that's what I do.
Awesome. All right, let's go next.
Awesome. My name's Katie Wilson, and I am originally from New York, moved to Washington, D.C., went to school in Maryland and Virginia, so went all around the East Coast. I came to Japan about 5 years ago, and I've been here ever since. Moved from Ofuna, Japan, then came up to Tokyo. And I originally came here because I needed a job. That's it. It was as simple as that. I couldn't find a job in America. Right after college, I couldn't find anything, and I applied to different countries. So I applied to Sweden, had some people from Sweden that I knew. I applied to jobs in South America, North Africa, and then Japan. And Japan contacted me first, so then I came here. That's why I'm here.
What do you do, bro?
I edit film trailers. I just finished my job as a English teacher. Did that for a while, but
which company did you work for?
Nova.
Oh man, that's where I started off at.
Nova, yeah, Nova.
Oh man, that is English teaching. You know what they call it? Nova is no vacation.
Yeah, that was crazy. They told me to. They was like, "Oh, you want to resign?" I was like, "Okay, yeah." And then they were like, "You have to fill out this form." And I filled out the form. They was like, "Okay, we're not going to accept you." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "That's all good."
Thanks.
I was like, "Why'd you have me do that?" Just playing with me. So, I'm not doing that anymore, and I have 2 weeks left on my contract, and I am a full-time trailer editor, edit films full-time.
You still teaching English now?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Where are you teaching at?
Where am I teaching at? I'm teaching at a company called World Family.
No. I mean, what area? What area?
Oh, Shinjuku.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you're here in Tokyo now.
Yep.
Oh, lit. How old are you, bro?
34.
34. What's your education in?
Went to school in Virginia, studied marketing management.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Cool. All right, let's go to the love sofa. Nice and jam-packed over there.
It's cozy. Hi, I'm Cesar. I'm 31 this month. Originally from New Zealand, but grew up in Australia. Came to Japan as a bit of a different reason. I was a Mormon missionary in 2013.
Wow. Jesus Christ. You have fallen from grace.
I broke every rule after quitting. Basically quit the church, but married a girl from my mission, Japanese girl.
You got married?
Yeah, I got divorced too.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Did the whole cycle.
That's why you're getting loose in the club. Eh?
I mean, it's all the trauma, like releasing it. But yeah, like basically after graduation, came back here, and yeah, I don't think he's in the camera.
No, you're good. Close that. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, basically after getting divorced, I stayed here for my son. He's living in Tochigi.
You have a son.
Yeah, he's 7 years old. I've done everything.
Mate, I'm
life.
getting to know you right now. I didn't know you had a kid.
Damn, son.
Awesome.
So I have a son. He looks similar to this guy. 7 years old. So basically, I'm in Japan for him, and also, it's much better in Tokyo. Like good dating life, lots of fun things to do. So,
What do you do for a living?
I actually work for BlackRock now. I'm an analyst.
You're an analyst for BlackRock?
yeah.
Very cool.
Very bottom of the rung.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of interesting topics for that as well. But yeah, just finance.
Awesome. Very cool. Go ahead, extend that mic over to our next panelist here. My good friend, my recent new friend I met on a very drunken night. Pull it up to your mic, buddy.
All right, yeah. Hey, so I'm Noah. I'm 24, half Japanese, half American. My dad was military, so they met in Yokosuka. Also was in Sasebo for the Navy, so ex-military, that's where most of my game was. In Fukuoka. Fukuoka was pretty nice. Came over here. I was going to take over my grandpa's business, but he had to retire, and so he ended up shutting the business down, but planning to become a host soon. Not working just yet, but should be fun.
Wow. Get ready to drink some alcohol.
Yeah, I love drinking, so.
Cesar is the best buddy.
Awesome. Very cool. Okay, next up.
Yeah, so my name is Jacob. I'm 27, and I was born in Japan, Misawa, like Aomori area, and I moved over to the U.S. from there, and then I came back to Japan whenever I turned 19 with my parents. Main reason I came back was just to see like my mom's side of the family because I'm super close with them and I grew up with them, and yeah, I haven't seen them for like 5 years since then. So mainly I'm right now just working as like a pool manager, and then on my side time I do personal training in person, teach swim lessons to like kids and adults, and then starting up my online fitness coaching for men that want to get their shit right.
Good stuff. You are half Japanese?
Yeah, I'm half Japanese, half white, just like this boy.
Okay.
Yeah, mom is Japanese, right?
Yeah, my mom's
Yeah,
Japanese.
dad.
So you
white
guys make
American.
one Japanese person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
The
Very
typical.
cool. Very cool. All right, so my first question to you guys is very simple. What is it like dating in Tokyo? Anybody want to go first? It is an open panel, and I'd like to go ahead and open that to the panel. Go ahead. All right, Cesar, you go first.
He knows
Well,
the
to
most.
sum it up in one word, terrible, but especially recently.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because there's like girls who are into foreigners, and then there are girls outside that circle. So for most people, they'll meet people on dating apps or like at the club, things like that, and that's usually in a small bubble. And I find like if you're meeting girls in that circle, it like all your friends have probably smashed the girl. It's just like, it's like if you want to date in Tokyo, the ideal thing is to get out of that. And I think a lot of people are trapped there. And like that's what a lot of my friends have been trying to like accomplish, is get out of that circle. The gaijin bubble, as they call it.
Yeah. That's one thing is like there's a question I have later. We'll dive into that later. But when it comes to getting out of that circle, because for you guys watching at home, so there is like a circle of Japanese girls that like, you know, they pretty much want to date foreigners only. And at some point you find out, you're like, oh wait, Cesar, why are you hanging out with that girl? You're like, oh, you know.
Yeah, like
I
you add them on Instagram, like all your friends are following. You're like, what? Oh my god, it's like a huge red flag. But, yeah.
I think that's another similar thing around bases, like military bases. You'll find girls that are like into foreign guys, or that they work on base, or that they just got picked up by like a military dude, and then they end up breaking up. But they also made friends with other military guys that are like the boyfriend's friends, and then they end up just getting passed around, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like the similar experience. I think that's like a pretty much my perspective as far as like a bubble, besides like dating apps. Like the military girl bubble, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so when I was in Sasebo, it was like pretty bad, you know. The military guys, they really like didn't care whether like the girls got passed around too much. There'd be some that be like fall in love with them, you know, even though they're getting like passed around and stuff. Like they'd be taking like videos of like gangbangs and stuff like that. So pretty crazy stuff. Like especially like the bartenders and stuff, but a lot of the girls like around the military base areas, they usually like hate the military. And like when you go out, they actually like start liking it, like oppositely. But a lot of the military guys, they don't speak Japanese at all. They don't try to speak Japanese. So like those guys aren't really much of a competition, and they go for just like the sluttiest chicks around, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in the military, it's like same with this circle, you know. Like one girl, like if you decide to add her on Instagram or something, she's pretty much guaranteed to follow like the whole fleet, basically. Yeah. So very slutty girls around the military. Just no go.
That's why like my strategy is more like to go away from the base. I don't want a girl that speaks any English at all, because I think whenever like I was whenever you first mentoring me, you mentioned like the hottest girls, they don't speak a lick of English.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like after I heard that, I was like, I need to get away from all these American guys and get my Japanese game up, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Like your language is what gets you out of there. If you can't speak Japanese, like for me, obviously I learned on my mission when I was teaching people about Jesus.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. But like the guys that are stuck in that bubble, usually like 9 out of 10 times their Japanese level is just too low.
Yeah.
So if you can get over that, you can meet people like even on the dating apps. If you're texting English, like you're not gonna get the girls out that are in that outside the bubble.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I personally think that if a Japanese girl speaks English, it's a red flag.
Yeah.
Show of hands. Do you guys agree? Is it a red flag
I
if
agree,
a girl?
If their English is too good, like that's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Like American accent, you're like, oh damn, like she's smashed all these like military guys already.
Are you talking about Okinawa or where? Military guys.
Like Yokosuka, Misawa. I actually served in Misawa.
I was like young whenever I was in Misawa, so I don't know there, but I'm more like Atsugi area.
I
So
think,
like close
yeah.
by Yokosuka.
Oh.
Yeah.
But Okinawa also, it's like
Yeah.
pretty much all the girls gather around that area, the ones that are into that.
Good stuff. Kadeem, you wanted to go next?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the dating apps, I never used them. I used them in America, but I didn't use them here. And I think that's probably why I didn't really run into any of that. And then on top of that, you know, if you go to the club, like for me, if I go to the hip hop club or something like that, it's
Clean
easy.
up.
So easy. But then,
That's not my experience at all.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
so you stay. So then I started going out and dressing up a little bit and going where the I guess the professionals are and stuff like that, and then the office workers, the women there and stuff like that, and that's when I started getting a little bit more challenge. You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, what are you talking to me for? You know what I mean? And then if you go to a hip hop club, they're standing there looking at you, waiting for you to talk to them. So
Yeah.
I think that's the difference.
Yeah, because like when a Japanese person in general makes a decision of like what they want, they go like head on. So like anytime my black friends want to come to Tokyo, it's like, where do I meet girls? I'm gonna just go to hip hop clubs. They'll find you. You know? Kadeem, do you get like kind of stereotypical questions like, oh, do you like hip hop? Or like, do they ask you like kind of like retarded questions?
Yeah. But it's like They're
Did they say, do you like black people music or do you like black music? I've heard that before.
I asked a girl when I was on a date one time, like, what do you think of, black people or black guys? Like, oh, they run really fast. Run really fast. You can dribble really well. Just stuff like that.
Basketball.
You could do that. You could play American football. They're right, but at the same time, you're just like, okay, that's their image of it. They see the Olympics once every 4 years, and then they copy what they see on that, or they watch the music video one time, or But then you could take advantage of that too. On top of that, so if they're like really into that, they're really into music, then you could just wow them with who and how many lyrics and stuff like that. But again, that's with the hip hop club.
I like it. Johannes, how about you?
How dating is in Japan?
Tokyo. You're
depends.
exclusively in Tokyo, right?
I'm exclusively in Tokyo. I mean, I've been around in Osaka, Fukuoka, like everywhere, Sapporo, like doing my game, and so on and so forth. It depends. Like the first half year, it was tough because I got good results in Germany. I came here and my game was not Japanized yet.
Yeah, you
So
got to recalibrate when you
I
come
had
here.
to recalibrate definitely my looks, how I talk, everything. And one big advantage I had is I spoke Japanese already, right? So that was good. And the longer I was here, the more Japanese girls I could get. Like the real Japanese girls, right? So I was a bit like a foreigner that I would attract girls who speak English in the beginning. But then I was getting more and more of the real Japanese girls. And for me now, to sum it up, I think Tokyo is really good. If you have game, only if you have game, you can have lots of like unlimited sex.
Yeah.
Right? If you master one method, whether it's apps, I recommend street pickup. It's my thing, right? And you can just hit the numbers infinitely. But after some time, it's always the same. There's this type of girl and this type of girl and this type of girls.
Can you explain what do you mean this type of girl?
Like for example, there's the small kind of cutesy girl. Then there's the one who likes foreigners, who's a bit more sexy. Then you have like this jiraikei. Like there's certain like how do you say like types of girls, right? And after I'm like I have sex and I'm like I've had sex with the same kind of girls and they tell the same stories, so it gets very, I think after some time, boring.
Yeah.
And I at this point, at age 37, I have really issues making deep emotional connections with Japanese girls. So my girlfriend, she's Thai, right? And like with foreigners, I can still get emotional, so I think I'm not damaged yet. I think. Right? But with the Japanese, I'm not getting emotional, no matter how hot she is. So like I don't really trust them. If you go for really the upper class, super upper class, I get invited a lot to like entrepreneur events where like only rich guys and hot girls can come in and so on and so forth. And there you can pull hot girls, but then they're only after the money. You can still have sex with them. But I feel like what you said a lot. There's a lot of fakeness. I feel like she's acting a certain way, and once she sees like I don't want a relationship with her, boom, the moment she changes her whole behavior like immediately, for example. So that's one thing. I'm not struggling with this, but it's one thing I'm observing. Yeah.
Japanese girls are like probably like the largest citizens of NPCs out there.
What's NPC? I'm not in this.
NPC is just like like a sheep. They just follow everything. See something cute, kawaii.
Yeah.
Eat something delicious, oishi.
Yeah. So it's superficial. That's one word that I would say. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a girl that's more pure, in the sense that she's a bit more naive, right? You won't find it in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Like, maybe in the countryside in Japan, but the problem is all the hot girls from the countryside come to Tokyo. So that's why. Like.
Yeah. If that's another red flag for me. If a girl tells me like I was born in Tokyo, I'm like, oh. Oh no, it's a red flag, massive red flag.
Even if she comes from the countryside, like the first 2 or 3 months she's good, then she's gonna assimilate and then it gets worse. So you have to catch them quickly.
So that's a good question. I want you to elaborate for the people at home.
Yeah.
When you say she assimilates to Tokyo, what does she change from, and what does she become because she comes to Tokyo?
I don't know. I mean, just imagine some girl in Shikoku, Tohoku, like being in a little thing, right? And then she comes to Tokyo and she has all this opportunity. Like rich guys flashing money at them. She's getting approached 20, 30 times a day in Shinjuku, Shibuya. So like the ego blows up.
Yeah.
Right? And then she's gonna develop an attitude just by her looks. right? And you as a man want to find a pure girl. Like you want to go to the like somewhere where like I don't know, like Eastern Europe, but somewhere where not all the players are, but like Belarusia, the last corner.
Yeah.
That's where you find
Where they're
the
not
pure girls. Right?
not tainted. I
Yes.
totally understand that.
Yes.
Mario, how about you? What's it been like dating for you in Tokyo?
Oh, tough. But I came from Europe. I used to live in New Zealand, so the experience completely opposite, actually.
And you're from Slovakia?
Slovakia, European women actually chase you, chase guys. I used to be chased. I came here and nothing happened. Oh, like, what the heck? So I had to learn how to chase, desire to learn game and stuff like that. So in Tokyo, the problem is Tokyo is a huge city. Women have too many options here. Too much nampa, too many apps. Guys, girls get actually approached all the time, everywhere. So I was like, okay, I'm going to Japan. It's going to be amazing. I mean, it should be easy, right? Because Asian woman and white. But it's not the case, actually. Complete opposite,
A lot of people think like just because I'm a foreigner or because I'm white or whatever, like you could have like there's certain places like Kadeem was saying, you got to go. Like I clean up if I go to like a Brazilian festival or a Latino festival, even though I'm not either of those things. They're like, oh yeah, you're Brazilian. I'm like, oh yeah, you want to get some acai bowl? They're like, yeah, I love it. So yeah, you got to find your niche. That's for sure. But yeah, that kind of leads me to my next question. So real quick, we're gonna go around the panel real quick. Just tell me how many years. We'll start with Jacob. How many years have you been in Tokyo now?
So I'm not really in like the Tokyo dating scene now, but I used to be, and that was probably for like a year or two max. But then like I just got tired of like trying to pick up girls because I found like they were kind of colder. I think that's due to just like them constantly being like non-bud.
Yeah.
And they just developed this wall, right? And I've had multiple times where like I'm kind of lost in Tokyo. I'm generally just asking for directions, but they like act like they don't see me,
Yeah.
So yeah, about 2 years.
2 years. Noah, how long have you been in Tokyo now?
So I was born here and like raised here as a kid. So if you include that and my time in the
No,
Navy,
dating. Like when you started
just
dating.
Just like 2.5 years, sort of.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Caesar, how about you, buddy?
For me, it's like 5 years total, I think.
5 years. Okay. Kadeem?
4 years.
4 years. Johannes, how long you been?
So I got into pickup 18 years ago.
You've been in Tokyo?
In Tokyo, 7 years.
7 years in
Yeah, yeah.
Tokyo. Mario, how long?
I came exactly 5 years ago, and I started approaching girls right away. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And so I have been in Tokyo now. This is the start of my 8th year. I've been here in Tokyo since 2017. I lived 1 year in Saitama, 1 year in Osaka. So the reason I asked you this is leading up to my big question, which me and Cesar and a couple other people have been talking about lately. Has the dating scene in Tokyo gotten better or worse in the last 5 years, in your experience?
I guess I'll start. So, in my experience, I mean, 5 years. The first 2 were lockup, so there wasn't a lot of like foreigners in the city.
Yeah, because of C19.
Yeah. C19. The app game was easy. Like you just had to be basically tall and white, or like just to be honest, like
Yeah,
And-
a lot of black guys cleaned up for the whole Black Lives Matter thing. That shit
Yeah.
came over here too. I got lectured by a Japanese girl about Black Lives Matter. I'm like, bitch, you were fucking Japanese. You lecturing me about racism, But yeah, go back to go ahead.
but they call them like gaijin hunters. Like they only go for foreigners. During the lockup, it was pretty much, you could pick and choose whatever you wanted. That has completely changed. So I think app game is kind of deteriorated recently, just because there's so many tourists here. You have like models just here for like a week. You have rich guys on holiday. They can just choose whoever they want, and
these guys are simping so fucking hard.
yeah, and a lot of times they'll be like, "Oh, you've lived here for 5 years. Like, you must be charai. Like, you must be like
Playboy.
kind of a playboy. Like, you know Japanese girls too good." And they're kind of going after like a foreigner experience, someone who doesn't speak Japanese, and that has kind of made apps not as good as they used to be, in my opinion.
Cool. Next, anybody?
Yeah. So I, during what do you call it?
C19.
C19. Yeah, it was. I think that was. It was a time where things were a lot simpler. I would say because like you said, there are no foreigners here, and the ones that are here, they live here. And you just go on the street. It seemed a lot simpler. After that, there seemed to be so many more people here, and then the clubs used to be filled up, and got a little bit of annoying. It's just so many more people. So it was just, after that, I kind of like checked out. I was like, all right, I'm just go work on other stuff.
Go make a film trailer.
Yeah, go make some film trailers.
And I think like a lot of girls, they just kind of got sick of the supply. Like it's like supply and demand.
Yeah.
When they're in the club, there's like 100 Australian guys like going crazy, like just like gaijin smashing them, like just trying to like, I don't know, you physically open them, and they're just kind of getting tired of that, and they're reverting to just going for Japanese guys. A lot of girls.
Yeah, because they get the hit on too much, right?
Too much, yeah.
And what's the ratio? I don't go to clubs much sometimes, but what's the ratio usually?
It's been pretty bad lately, what I've been seeing.
I think that's also like a promotion issue. Like I used to work at One Oak. It's a Tokyo club for mainly hip hop. But the promoters are also not working as hard. But in general, yeah, it's just full of tourists at a lot of the gaijin, a lot of the foreigner clubs.
That's why it got
Mainly
worse.
guys too. Yeah.
That's where the most like the guys with like the least amount of game. They're like, oh, let's just go to a nightclub. We'll find girls there, and it's just like, and it's just you have a whole. Because another thing is, you got to know, like Japanese girls, I say, are like cats. Like you got to like have smooth game, because like the moment you jolt or scare them, like they run away forever, and then they're just getting super conditioned by all these bad foreigners giving them a bad experience, and then they just sloppy game exactly, and then they're like blanket judging all foreigners and like, I'm just gonna go fucking hang out with Takashi or Kenji or whoever instead. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I think it was easier like 5 years ago when I came before, or even touring C19. It was easy actually. People say, C19 is so hard. No, actually, I had more luck back then. Now it's getting harder. I don't know the reason. Maybe as Cesar said, like too many guys from other countries coming here. They have sloppy game, hitting on girls.
Every month, actually, is actually statistically documented. Caesar showed it to me. Yeah. Every month since the border has opened, every month the amount of tourists keeps going up and up and up and up. And this Japanese economy is dog shit. So like they're opening the floodgates to get all this tourist money because they're not innovating. Like everybody's old. There's not a lot of booming Japanese economy stuff happening here.
Yeah. I don't use dating apps. I just do approaches on street, but it was easier back then. Much easier. I just talk to girl. We go women on a date. It was really easy. Now they just don't care much. Ignore you. So you need to sharpen your game, or I don't know. I cannot say more about that.
Yeah, I think just getting away from Tokyo is like the best thing, as far as like whenever I was in Tokyo, and then just splitting away from there, just finding girls that aren't like battle hardened. Basically. And then they're usually a little bit more on that stereotype of like polite or nice and kind, right? Because they don't have that bad image of, let's say, a foreigner. So they will give you like and reciprocate the respect or whatever that you treat them well,
Yeah.
So I think, I think it's still good. Like if you have game, it's still, you can have unlimited abundance, but it's declining for sure.
Yeah. Why do you think it's declining, Johannes? Because you're Japanese passing. They treat you like a Japanese guy, right?
No, they treat me like they see me more as a foreign.
Really?
Yeah, from my looks. Even though like foreners see me as a Japanese
the
looking
blonde
guy.
hair.
It's the blonde hair.
Just dye your hair black.
But No, it's still good. Street has become a bit more difficult. Apps I'm not recommending to anyone. Like I don't know. Clubs same. Like I
Same,
don't
right.
like it too much. And it depends. It also goes in waves. So like for example, pickup has become very like popular here. And there's been coaching like coaches teaching like spam approaching, where you're just like sumasan, excuse me,
Yeah, like
and
100
they do
girls
like
a
they
day.
do like 200-300 approaches per day,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And so if you go to the stations where those particular groups operate, then it gets worse and worse. So you have to pick your specific train stations. So that too. And also like he said, right? If like a girl is not even like the countryside, but Kanagawa or Saitama. Like near to Tokyo, but not Tokyo, much easier to open, like, right?
Saitama girls are sweethearts.
But it's
man.
the same. It's the same, I think, in every major city. Like when I was in Hamburg, like girls from the city nearby, easier to open. Like it's normal.
I definitely agree with you that. I think
Yeah.
like I don't know what it is about cities, but it just makes girls whores.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Maybe it's just the temptation or whatever. The best girls I've ever met
Yeah.
have never been from
When
cities.
I have a daughter, she has to be in the countryside,
Yeah.
like working on the field. I don't know, like it's the best, just to grow up pure.
No, I'm going to make sure I'm going to those special doctors to make sure I don't have a daughter. I'm just like boys only.
Yeah. Another thing is like women in Tokyo have spoiled for choice, too many
Yeah,
options.
it's the illusion of choice, though, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
and that's what's happening in America too. The girls don't realize. Girls think a bunch of guys are hitting me up. I must be desirable, and it's like no, they just want to fuck. And then you're really desirable is after they smash. Does the guy want to keep you around? Does the guy like want to take care of you and be sweet to you? That's the real sign of value. But I think what's happening too with the popularity of Instagram, because I was here before Instagram. I was here in 2012. And back then, it was like a complete, you had to go to like international parties to meet people. And back then, you go to these international parties and you just meet the hottest girls. They're like, yeah, I'm from like Chiba. And like, I took like an hour and a half train to be here to meet you. And my friend is like this big guy. He's like a big Viking guy, like big belly, big muscles, big beard. And his wife is gorgeous. and he just went there and he met her. This was like in 2000s, early 2000s-ish. He went there, met her. She was a virgin. And she just liked, white guys with big beards. He has a huge beard. And they got married and had kids, Good luck. Like, you go to a hub and find a girl now, she's like, I've sucked like 20 foreigners' dicks, So it's a big, big gap I've seen. And I think, too, Instagram has really gassed these girls up. Instagram has gassed women up across the planet. They think that they are... Because first of all, every girl puts like 900 filters on her face when she's on Instagram to make her look way hotter than she actually is. And then... they have all these guys hitting them up, clicking like, sending them money. I see some of these girls with like an Amazon like wish list in her Instagram profile, and dudes are like buying them stuff on the Amazon wish list. I do exclusively dating apps. I'm really good at those, and I love to look at the girls' messages. I always am like, show me your Bumble, show me the stuff, and I just see like it's just these guys, but they're good looking and stuff, but they're all like they're still the simps from like back home and like. Gassing these girls up, and this girl's like 33, and she's like, "Oh, I'm the shit."
Average girls, even average Japanese woman gets so much attention, but they look good, to be honest. And those hottest girls, yeah, it's even
I
more.
think another one is whenever TikTok blew up, because I know like a few girls that do like TikTok, and then you get more increased views on TikTok compared to Instagram. And not only that, but I think TikTok actually came out with like the stories thing first, right? Or like the really short form content. It like was the innovator for that.
Yeah.
And I know a girl that would constantly get like messages from guys and a lot of comments compared to like her Instagram page. But then not only that, but like they would do lives, and then they would just be like late night lives, like because she is more like a night owl, so she would stay up like past midnight, and there'd be a flood of guys just listening to her like talk. It's like she's just talking about bullshit.
Yeah, and she thinks like I'm so special. I'm so amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think TikTok's another one that did it in.
Noah, what are your thoughts?
I'm like still pretty new, so I can't like give too much feedback on like the old stuff, but I don't know if like TikTok really gave him too much of a influence, you know, like it's kind of hard to be like discovered on TikTok as much as it is on like Instagram, you know. But yeah, I really don't have much to say since I'm kind of new to this. Yeah.
Are you meeting girls that are like overly gassed up?
I don't think so. Not too much really. But yeah, like I'm like same as you. Like most people for at least Tokyo is like dating apps. When I was in Fukuoka, it'd be all like street and stuff. But yeah, I can't just not too much like prior knowledge. Still new Gen Z.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's go around the panel real quick. So, what is your preferred way to meet girls in Tokyo? We'll start with you, Mario. Your preferred way to meet girls for
Cold
dates.
approach.
What is it?
Cold approach.
Cold approach.
Or nampa in Japanese.
Yeah, Johannes.
100% street.
Street.
Street, yeah.
Have you ever used a dating app?
Never. I had one date from a dating app in my life.
Yeah.
Like, and then I never touched it ever. And I'm not gonna start at 37. So, you know, like,
I used, but I didn't have a good experience. I stopped. 30 is the gold.
especially in Tokyo because the club scene is not so great, I would say, for such a metropolis. And the streets, it's just like a street is about quantity. So there's places
Yeah.
I haven't been to LA, but you know, lots of these streets where there's wide streets and not so many people. You know, it's more difficult to do street pickup. So you need quantity of people, and you have that in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, street.
Street.
100%.
So
Yeah.
you 100% just cold walking up. What's up?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you speak Japanese?
So. I you know, I can understand more than I can speak. So I might say something in Japanese and then they're say something else, and then I might say something in English. And what's the great thing about that actually is if they're actually listening to you, it takes a while for them to figure out what you're saying. So by the time, you know, you've had a conversation, you've been walking and talking for a while. You know what I mean?
A lot of my black friends, when they like talk shit to some of my white friends, like, oh, the only reason you get girls here is because you're white. But you have a lot, like you said, you exclusively have success from walking up to strangers in the street and just saying, hey, what's up? I'm Kadeem.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you're tired, just like, hey, do you like black guys? Yes or no? I don't.
Why not?
Say it in Japanese.
No, in English. It's like, you know what I'm talking about.
But it's a good one. It's a good opening.
You just say, what's up? That's your like, hey, what's up? You like black guys? That's it?
Yeah. I started doing that actually when I was doing streets with Johannes here actually, and I said that one time. And she like laughed, and I was like, "Guess that works." just ask, because you
just don't give a
sometimes you
shit.
don't have time. Yeah, just like, it's late.
It's hilarious.
You know, and if she says no, then you can go ahead. You know,
I love. What are your numbers? What do you say? Like, you get one date out of every 30, every 40, every 50?
I don't even know, really, because even though I work in Shinjuku, I live in Kogane City, so. It's better for me to do it around there, and if I just see someone I'm interested in, then I'll go on. But I'm not counting anymore. It's just like
numbers.
It's just if I see someone that I'm interested in, then I just go through it.
It's amazing.
But yeah, I mean, you do get the occasional like, oh, I don't know, I'm scared. You make me scared. And I'm just like, okay, you just hear that, you just walk away.
Yeah. I get that too. I walk up to you like, quiet. You know?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's normal.
Caesar?
For me, like I used to also be into street. I would only do street. But recently I have been doing more apps. I used to be on Tinder, but like I got banned, so I just solely use Bumble. Some go with like a cat picture. I went on a date, but it was like, I don't know, on Tinder you can use any picture you want, but Bumble they actually have to use their face, so that's nice. So yeah, just basically apps recently. I met my girlfriend on there a few months ago.
Nice.
And also clubs, right?
Yeah, but I've never had any meaningful relationships in clubs. Maybe like a one night thing, but it doesn't really lead to anything, substantial.
That's funny.
Yep.
Yeah, so for Tokyo, I like using the apps as well, like Bumble, or like for Japanese girls. And then if you go on Hinge, you meet like a lot of foreign girls that are like just here for vacation and stuff. And those girls are pretty easy. But in Tokyo, yeah, like during the day, street is nice, but like during the night, I feel like they get too egotistical, and they just like I don't want to like feed into it, and just like wasting my time. I feel like at night at least, or maybe I'm just not going to the right areas. But yeah, Fukuoka was nice, but yeah, mainly dating apps for Tokyo, I'd say.
Yeah, I think whenever I was here more often, I would use like apps and then in the club. But now it's more like whenever I come here, it's like a not cold approach, but more of a warm approach where like if I'm going to do something, that's like the only time I come to Tokyo. So I go to the shopping center for a specific thing or come here for like business purposes or just hang out. If I like see somebody that is showing me interest, then I'll like approach them. But that's other than that, I like come here to do something and then just go back into like my area and then go about my life and then approach with that same kind of like warm approach kind of mindset. Yeah.
Warm approach is more like social groups or social circles, right?
More
Can
like let's say I'm going about doing my activities, but then there's a sign of like interest in me. Like I just see them like constantly like double take or just a lot of eye contact. Then approach and ask them.
Yeah, same. Also, gym can work.
Yeah.
Trains as well. Trains, parks, gym. Oh, sorry, I said that. Beach.
You like the beach, don't you? You're always on the
beach is
sushi.
like, I like natural approach. I don't like just spam. It's not my thing,
Like speaking on the warm approach thing, like a thing that I've been doing recently, I just wave at the girl, and if she ignores me, like I don't even open anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just like it kind of like filters out like if she has a little bit of interest, like you said.
Yeah.
I'm just too lazy now to just get rejected, so I'm like wave if she looks at me, maybe I'll speak. But that's my like recent
The next.
tip.
Yeah.
Just wave.
So we basically have like a panel of jaded players.
Yeah.
Everyone's like tired. They're just like they're done.
Yeah.
Just wave,
There's better stuff to do than just pick up chicks,
Yeah.
Gotta move on to bigger and better things.
My thing lately, like on the first date, I'm just like as insufferable as possible. I'm just like really just like rude and like just like because if they can handle me terribly up front, I know like okay, like this is this girl will be down for me down the road because there's so much when we talk about Japanese girls, they have a lot of strengths, they have a lot of weaknesses, but in general in Japan, like you just said, Japan is the land of the superficial. Right? So there's a lot of fakeness, a lot of fucking lying, a lot of, putting up saving face or whatever. And then I just don't want to waste my time. Like if I'm on a date with a girl and like it's 10 minutes in, I could feel that she doesn't want to be there. I'd be like, oh, sorry. I got to go home. I got to feed my dog. Like, she's really sick. I just remembered it was nice to meet you and I'm just out of there because I just don't have time for it. And I'm kind of like in the same boat as Noah. I just don't want to like feed their ego. I feel like by me rejecting them, like I'm kind of bringing them back down to earth and like the next guy will have a better experience. But that leads me to my next question. So when it comes to Japanese girls and dating Japanese girls here in Tokyo, what is your favorite thing about Japanese girls when you're dating them here in Tokyo?
I mean, for me, the number one thing is that they're feminine.
Feminine?
Like, you won't find that very rarely a Japanese girl that's like
Very
boyish or doesn't dress well.
Yeah.
Like this kind of. So that's what I came here for feminine energy, right? Because I was missing it so much in Germany.
Yeah.
You're very,
women
like-
are more tough.
You're a very like
traumatized.
dominant guy too, so you
Yeah.
need that like feminine
Yeah, I don't
balance.
need another guy.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Or like in Germany, like leggings and sneakers, and they
Yeah, they definitely
and super
put
logical. I don't need that, right?
Yeah, they definitely put like a lot of effort into like first impression or looking good
Their
for you,
looks, yeah.
especially like if they really like you. Like there's a girl I was talking to, like she would always be consistently like 15-20 minutes late for the date, but she always says like, yeah, I was like putting in effort, like really trying to make look good for you, right? And like think about like the coordination of the outfit of what you're gonna wear, what I'm thinking that you're gonna wear, and then trying to coordinate that with my outfit. It's like, okay, if she's gonna go through all that effort, it's like 15-20 minutes. Fuck yeah, I'm just gonna fuck around on my phone. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think the femininity is definitely one. Is a big contrast from America.
Yeah.
I would say America seems like the women there are a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
So when I came here, and I saw women smiling, I was confused initially. I was just like,
You were coming from New York?
Washington D.C.
Yeah. Wow, DC sucks, bro.
Yeah,
DC women suck. They're crazy as fuck too.
yeah. So it was a little weird. And I was like, why is everybody smiling when they're great? Even just in the stores and stuff. I was like, what's going on? You know. But then I was like, okay, they're just being nice. You know what I mean? And I wasn't used to that, so I think that's a big difference.
Caesar?
Yeah, I think if a girl likes you in Japan, like she'll put in an insane amount of effort. I had this one girl I was dating, like first date, she stayed over. She cooked 2 meals. Like she cooked for us that night and she's like, this meal, like you can eat it tomorrow. I was like, oh, thank you. Like, that's so nice.
Yeah.
And I wake up, like all my washing is folded. Like
First date?
Yeah, first time like going home.
What'd you do to that girl?
I don't know. I did something. She like if the girl likes you, like she'll put in the effort and she'll like try to show you like I'll be a good wife for you, and like things like that. You wouldn't really see that in Australia. Like they'll probably make you like cook for them.
Yeah.
Like it's the dynamics is completely different, and that's probably the thing I like the most about dating here. But once you get married, that changes, obviously.
Really? I've heard about that. Did your wife change when you got married?
Oh yeah, especially like after my son was born, it was like I was just like kind of bothering her all the time, and she's like, "Shut up! Like, yeah, like I'm doing my thing. Like, just make money for me." So the dynamic switches. I think the whole facade.
Did you think she had genuine desire for you, and then you just didn't, or she didn't have genuine desire, and you didn't realize it?
No, I think it's just the child comes first in the Japanese like family dynamic.
Then why are they all fucked up?
I heard that.
And a lot of Japanese people like they won't have sex after marriage. Like maybe before the kids, once the kids are born.
Yeah. They focus on-
Everyone has small homes, so it's not really possible. Like if they wanted to, you know, like in the West, you have your own bedroom.
Yeah.
A lot of the times you have to sleep. I slept next to my son on like a futon. So it's just not really possible. You could do it, it's just kind of awkward. So that's why a lot of Japanese men will just go and, you know, sleep with a prostitute or
Yeah,
like
cheat with
they'll go
other
and
girls.
drink with a hostess at a bar instead, and their wife is just there like cooking and cleaning, which is it's kind of fucked up.
Very
Cheating
fucked
is
up.
big-
Yeah.
Cheating is big in Japan, and this can be the
Cheating is very big.
Yeah, it's like
Cheating is a
normal.
popular
It's
sport
like-
here.
cheating is like a
Japanese
It's
culture.
normal.
cheating is like a national pastime in Japanese culture.
And like a lot of girls have told me, like as long as I don't know that you've cheated, it's fine. And like in Australia, it's like if you cheat, it's done.
Yeah,
Like, you're gone.
you're bad. You're
But
terrible.
here it's like as long as you're kind of like keeping it on the down low, they don't care.
And to the marriage thing, my chiropractic told me the same 2 weeks ago. He said like the once he got married with her, like it wasn't as good anymore. But I don't know how it's in other countries, but I also I don't know if marriage is good in that sense, because like psychologically, if the girl has you, she will lose attraction. So there always needs to be this dynamic of she doesn't have you completely yet, right? So yeah.
I think there's like an element of trying to keep the magic alive in the West, but here it's just like, oh, we're married, okay, just make money for me, kind of thing. I'm not saying every girl is like that. That was kind of my experience, and a lot of my friends who are married or divorced, they had the same thing.
I think when that typically happens, I think it's the guys don't really see. The girls just see him as like a utilitarian beta male type of guy. I think if she really is into the guy, she's always going to have that anxiety of him leaving, because there's always that dread, that threat, like, oh shit, like other girls like my man. But if she's got you locked down, or if she like, because a lot of women settle. You know, they're like, okay, do I end up getting old and just like be alone, or do I settle with this, like, you know, the friend zone, the beta male, the beta provider kind of guy? Yeah. And then they do that, and then they're like, okay, I got the kid, like, yeah, I got you now.
Yeah, I think in Japan it's like once you're 25, you're expired. In their like it's kind of a culture over here.
Women?
Yeah,
Women?
so for women,
Leftovers.
Christmas cake.
basically like you try to get married by 25. If you fail from 25 to like 30, you'll find when you meet girls in that age range, they're always like saying, I want something serious. That's because they kind of failed.
Yeah.
And then after 30, if they're still single, then they just go back to the streets basically.
Yeah. The ones that you meet on dating apps are like, 32, 33.
Yeah.
They're just like, fuck it.
They'll do it.
Just fuck me.
Maybe
It's done.
They
Like, I
give
gave
up.
up.
They're like, I'm just gonna be a whore. Fuck it.
If you like MILFs, like it's great because it's easy. But if you're going for like 25 to 30, like you're gonna have a hard time.
It's a sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
Over 30, baby rabies. I had a girl like that.
Yeah.
Baby rabies. I will have a kid. She was like crazy. Like, what the?
They'll have on their
Speak up, Mario.
yeah on their like profile. It would be like no one night stand. Like,
Yeah.
only serious stuff.
No ONS.
But a lot of those girls, they do one night stands.
Yeah.
It's just like
They say that because they've
They're trying-
experienced
yeah,
it in
yeah.
one night stand. They're like, I didn't like this, but if you give them in a good mood, yeah.
in their mind, they're like, I need to get married, but I still want to smash. So it's like, yeah, it's difficult.
Noah, what do you like the most about Japanese girls?
I can't say too much for liking them. I mean, like they do stuff for you and stuff, but like I'm kind of like scared of them, to be honest with you. Like, I have a Japanese mom, Japanese aunt, a grandma, and my mom was like pretty terrible as a wife, Like, I'm basically like a bastard, Like my mom, she got pregnant. Like my dad wanted to break up initially, and like she just came out with that news, and like they had to get married. And yeah, she was like always like causing fights and stuff. And eventually, like my mom, she like when I was living in the States as like 4 years old, she like took me and my sister back to Japan without telling my dad anything. So it just looked like we got like kidnapped or killed or something. My dad was like trying to find me for months. And eventually, like when my dad called my grandma in Japan, like I was like in the background making noise, and that's how he found out. But she was like on the FBI wanted list and stuff. But I feel like I haven't heard too like many good stories from Japanese wives, really. Just like horror stories, like Japanese wives abusing their husbands, stuff like that. Just like, yeah.
I heard a story like that. A friend of mine, he knew this guy, and he was like with this girl, right? And here's the thing too, right? Another thing, in my opinion, is if a Japanese girl likes a foreigner, I'm like, that's like low-key a red flag. I'm like, why don't Japanese guys want you? Because Japanese guys have strict standards, really, really high standards. And if they can't keep up to those standards, they go to the gaijin bucket. And they're like, oh, okay, like maybe one of these guys will scoop me up. So everything was fine and dandy with them, right? And they never had a fight. The day he signed the marriage paperwork, she started going crazy. And that's when they had their first fight. And dude, this guy totally took it too. He had to go to work. He was an English teacher. And if he got off early, like, because typically it's 9 to 5, but if he got off early, he had to sit out front downstairs of the apartment building and like not go in the house. He wasn't allowed back in until 5 o'clock. But only a beta male guy would tolerate that. Like a guy would like I don't think anybody here would tolerate that at all.
What the fuck?
So you kind of get put in those situations. I think again, going back to that, a relationship is there's not 50-50. Someone's running the show. And if a woman's running the show, you're in hell. It's not a good thing. So, Jacob, back to you. What do you think? In your opinion, what is your favorite thing about Japanese girls and why?
I would say they're pretty mindful or conscientious about you. So if they're really into you, they really look at the details and find out what your preferences are, what you like, what you don't like, and they think about that on the back end. So like I was messing with a girl, and I've really been into fitness for like the past 3-4 years, and she knows that I try to have strict I've had periods of like super strict dieting or nutrition, and I told her this is my like standard, this is my restriction, and then she's done her own research to like better her cooking to meet my needs, right? But then also going back to like the coordination of like the clothes whenever we go out together, is like she can already know what kind of clothes I'm gonna wear out even if I don't tell her, because I wear like almost the same stuff all the time, like nice black shirt, nice dress pants with nice shoes,
Like tonight?
Yeah. This is basically my going out outfit. I have 5 of these pairs. Yeah, but I think that like whenever a girl like really likes you or has a desire for you, she really thinks about like you as a person, and then tries to fit herself and mold herself around you.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think a lot of guys, they project their liking of a girl onto the girl liking them. But a lot of guys don't stop and look and be like, is this fucking bitch actually, does this girl actually like me?
Yeah.
You know? And then it's only until like they're locked down or they're locked, you know, a contract or like a marriage, then they're like, oh, wait a minute, like this woman's treating me like shit, you know? And then it's too late because you got a kid, you're locked down. So.
Yeah, and then kind of like what Cesar was saying, like the girl that like cooked you a meal or two, right? Yeah. I had my girl, like whenever I went to take a vacation, I was gone for a week. She had access to my house because she needed a place to stay and do like telework, but outside of her family house, just for like quiet and peace. She cleaned up my house like without even me asking her, like made it all nice and tidy throughout like the garbage that I forgot to, or like that just needed to be thrown out, like plastic bottles and stuff. And like I came back and I was like, man, all I have to do is unpack, you know? It's like I didn't have to clean up my house and unpack. It's like just going an extra mile to like think about what you would appreciate as a man, you know? Just take care of the house and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they are very thoughtful.
Yeah.
They are. I dated a girl, and like every year, I met her in the countryside. I met her. She lived in Nara, and she was the secretary at this English teaching school I was working at. And we started dating. And every year, she made a physical scrapbook of pictures. And like, I'll show it to you. I have it all here. I have 4 or 5 of those books. And every year, it was like a highlight of our trip and our love. You know, she was just, to this day, she's like one of the best humans I've ever met. You know, I was lucky, and like, you know, I because we did long distance for a while, and then like, you know, I started making money, getting popular in Tokyo, and then, you know, just kind of distance kind of did its thing. But then I just started meeting all these fucking whores, and like they look hot and they're like they're a good time, but then you're like, damn, you're like a really shitty person, which leads me to my next question. What is the number one thing you hate about Japanese girls? I'll go first.
Yo.
Japanese girls are the biggest fucking liars on the planet. They have no shame to look you right in the eye and lie to you with a smile on their face, and to continue to lie until you blatantly catch them. Then they're like, okay, I'm sorry. And you're like, get out, you know? So that's for me, because you can't build anything. You can't build a friendship. You can't build a business relationship.
Trust.
You can't build anything with no trust and no integrity. Anything. And they don't, and like they're kind of like naive. I think because Japanese guys are so busy cheating on them that they never really look into like the girl lying or whatever. They're just like, whatever. It's like a relationship of 2 liars. But when you like are not a retard and you're like, okay, wait, this girl's definitely 100% lying to me. You know, they're not used to you calling them out. This is not a really call out culture, too. You know, they're like, they want you to keep the peace. So for me, the number one thing I hate about Japanese girls is the whole lying and being fake thing. That fucking drives me crazy. I hate it. So going around the panel, gentlemen.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. Same. Number one, they lie. They are dishonest, flaky. They blog you. They say, oh, yeah, I want to see you. And they just blog you or something. Or they just don't reply. So when I see other women from other countries, for example, Chinese or European women, they say right away, no, I'm not interested, or I don't like you, or something like that. Or no, thanks. But Japanese say yes, but they do no. So you just need to get used to that, you know. At the beginning, I was like, sure, like, what's happening? Like, why? Now you need to get used to that and just, okay, accept that. I think that's how they are raised.
Being lying pieces of shit.
What do you think? Johannes, what do you think?
No, I reciprocate 100%. Like when I came here, I was a bit naive, and I had a few experiences. Like for example, at a date, like she was like super nice to me. I thought we were going home. I pay everything. The moment we go out, she's like, "Oh my best friend texts me. I have to go." Basically, right? Something like this, and it becomes normal after a time. Or then you can read if she's really into you or not, but they're really good at faking things. So after some time, like you become really professional too, which is also, I don't know if it's good or not, but yeah, you just play then at the same level. after a while. But that's that. Like I would say fakeness, and it's I don't know if I can ever trust her. It's also like I don't wanna have this mindset. I can never trust a Japanese woman because maybe I meet an amazing one, and then you have this prejudice, just
Yeah.
and it hurts how you communicate. So I try to be open, but it's also very difficult to forget like all the experience.
I've learned you gotta it's trust but verify.
What do you mean?
Initially trust them,
Yeah.
but then verify what they're saying. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these girls, again, it goes to the ego.
Yeah.
Like I get mad if a girl lies to me. I'm like, you think I'm fucking stupid?
I don't get mad anymore.
You think I'm fucking retarded? You think you could pull one off on me? That's an ego thing, and I don't like that. So trust them, but verify their story just to protect your ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, but if they are playing like I'm the good girl, I'm like okay.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Shut up, bitch.
Yeah. So you get used to unlimited lying, but but yeah, it just is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of the same. Words and actions different, but like when you're with a girl, say you're like alone or in a hotel or something, the whole no thing. It's just like, what are you?
Explain that for the people watching at home.
Resistance.
They're gonna think you're raping these girls out here.
Yeah. Okay, that does sound weird. Actually,
I know what you're talking about too.
Yeah.
Oh, dame.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're basically say dame, which is don't do this. It's not
Or stop.
Just stop.
Yeah, just stop. But at the same time, they're like smiling and kind of being like flirty at the same time, and they kind of they want you to do it, but they want you to do it so it's not their fault.
Yeah.
That you did it. That they're doing it, or they want a couple of drinks first. They're like, oh, I'm drunk. It's I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Is it that a plausible deniability thing? Like they want to frame it where like
Resistance.
Yeah,
They don't want to be
yeah.
slutty.
Yeah, they don't want to be. Yeah, they don't want their
become-
friends
Yeah.
to know that
So
they
it-
were initiating things or anything like
Yeah.
that. And at first, like you see that, like, oh, okay, and you just get up and you it's just like
Yeah,
I guess
some
we're in
guys
the
give up,
bathroom,
yeah.
guess we'll leave, and they're just looking at you weird. I'm looking at them weird, and we're just looking at each other weird.
I think it's like the American what is it? Oh yeah, one thing just led to another, and we just had our pants off and just doing dancing in bed. You
It
know?
just happened.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah, it just
happened.
happened.
It just
Yeah,
happened.
No,
I
like
think it's
actually, like
normal.
on that point, I had a girl. We lived together for a year, and she would still do that. Like,
Really?
I'm like, well,
Stuff
like
that
we
you-
already like we've lived
dating.
together. Like we've done this hundreds of times, but she's always like, oh, it's
Resistance.
dame. I'm like, what? Like, you already know this. Like, what's gonna happen? But like, they enjoy that. I think.
yeah, I enjoy it.
I think it's not a bad thing actually.
Well, it's
you
case
said
by
it's
case.
in a
It's ca-
negative way, right?
It's case by case. It's case by case. Go ahead, Noah.
Yeah, I also hate like how fake they are. Like you gotta read their you gotta read their actions and stuff. You can't trust what they say. What else? There's like a whole bunch of stuff I could say terrible about Japanese girls, but
Let it rip. That's what the show's for.
oh,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Tell us.
You get triggered?
There's two things that I hate. The first is it's also lying, but it's like very specific. I don't know if it's because of C19, but like when a girl doesn't want to go on a date, she'll just send you a picture of a thermometer. And, and like her hand is not even in it. I'm like, send me one with your hand, and she's
Yeah.
like, just blocks you.
Sorry, I
What
can't
is
meet
that
you. I'm
excuse?
sick. And then the thermometer. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I thought that was just me that happened to.
Everyone I talk to is like, oh, this girl sent me a thermometer. I'm like, yeah, she hates you, bro.
It's just the same picture.
Oh my God. They are. I'll tell you a quick story. So I dated this girl for a while, right? And we were doing long distance. I met her when I was working at Nova. She was the area manager. And then she got transferred to Hawaii. And I set up she got a new MacBook and she got like an iPhone. This was like 2013. And I didn't trust her. So I was like, I'm going to take this bitch's password and like track her iPhone, right? Find my iPhone. So I used to watch her go from her store to home every night. Like a good girl. I was like, oh, okay, I'm a piece of shit. Like whatever. But the one time she went for a walk around the canal, the Aloi Canal in Oahu, Hawaii. And I was like, so I started FaceTiming her, right? And then she doesn't answer. And then I'm like, Okay. And then she comes home, and then she finally answers, but she went in the shower and she wet her hair. And she answered with a towel around her neck, and she had a t-shirt on, and she was like drying her hair. She was like, "Oh my God, I was taking a shower." And I was just like, wow, like what a piece of shit. You fucking lying bitch. You know, I was so mad. I fucking deleted her iPhone remotely. And like, you know, the delete button, I deleted that. And she later confessed to me. She tried to turn around and was like, "Oh, you know, you were far apart." And it was some dude she was hanging out with. So yeah, like the depths of the lie. Like, it's one thing to be like, "Yeah, I'm sick," but then like, "Yeah, I'm sick. Here's a picture of a thermometer." And it's like the going above and beyond to lie to me. I just think like, so you're just taking it to the next level to disrespect me, and I just don't like that personally.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I also experienced the other side. Like, one girl I was dating, she had a boyfriend, and she didn't tell me, but like, we're on a date. And she was like, "Oh, by the way, like, my boyfriend knows where I am, so let's like go to this area and do our date here. So he thinks I'm at work." And I was like, okay, like, why not? But like that level of lying, and for them, like, they don't have any moral compass in that. As long as like no one knows, it's fine. And that's the thing I hate the most.
I don't know if we can talk about housewives here.
Yeah.
It's like, they know they're being watched,
really?
but yeah, they're just like, as long as we're here, it's fine. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I had a woman like leave her daughter. She was staying at the Hilton in the executive room here at Nishi Shinjuku. Leaves her daughter, comes to fuck me, goes back. Like, takes a taxi, comes to fuck me, goes back. As if it's the most normal thing at the world, you know? Or they fuck and then they, you know, pick up the child at the
You feel bad for the
kindergarten.
child. Like,
But
the
it's
child,
normal.
the
It's
child's
like,
like, "Oh, my mom's
there's
just
there's
smashing."
no guilt, nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
I think that's because it's a godless country. In my opinion, like, when there is like a country where there's a sense of God, whether it be like, you know, Islam or Christianity, right? Like, there is a sense of guilt when they are doing something that is kind of morally wrong. You know what I mean? I don't want to date a girl that doesn't have a moral compass. You know what I mean? Because I can't just, those kind of people, I don't want to deal with people like that, man or woman. Like, they're just going to do you dirty at some point. And I don't want to be around people who don't have like a general sense of wrong or right. And I think that's because, you know, because I think a lot of Japanese people are just so jaded. Like, there is no Japanese dream. There's like no aspiration. A lot of these people look at their life like, "I hate my fucking life. I hate my fucking boss. I hate my fucking husband. It is what it is." And then they just kind of, you know, they go wild and they just say, "Fuck it, I'll just do whatever I want." Okay.
Yeah, I think the fakeness, I wouldn't say I necessarily mess with girls that lie, but if I sense like some fakeness, I'd rather just keep it like casual and just more, what is it, like a hi-bye kind of thing. Don't really date them because I don't want that in my life. But
Yeah.
I think back to like the NPC, or like they just don't have any critical thinking skills, or they have to go by the book on everything. So if a Japanese people are like a dish, they go like by the book recipe, right? Whereas like Americans, they got some of that sauce. Like, they can go off of the books a little bit and they could deviate a little bit. Like, I mean, we're gonna end up in the same place. Why not just take this path, right? It's gonna be more fun. So I think just that not really critical thinking, or having to go by the books because that's what society said, and that's what I hate about it.
Good stuff. Well, I think we all hate Japanese girls, huh? No, I'm just joking.
I'm sure there are some good ones. Hopefully.
No, I think it's just like, there's people. I'm personally in the category of the majority of people are shit, but like, there are good men and they're good women, and in order to find them, you're gonna have to deal with a bunch of dirtbags to get to that quality person, because that's what makes them a good thing, a rare thing, is because, you know, they stand out from the bunch. Closing thoughts on everything. We're gonna get you guys out of here. Last train's coming up here. Thank you guys for being here. Closing thoughts on anything you want to say in closing to the people watching us in America and around the world.
So for me, like, I'm guessing your YouTube channel has lots of guys also watching who don't have so much experience with girls, and like, we are all jaded players. so then they come like, "Oh, I shouldn't date because all girls are bad." No, like, fuck a lot of girls, you know. get some experience first, and then judge by yourself. Yeah.
So what would you recommend for girls to handle, handling Japanese women in the right way, like to be successful with
Just you have to become an alpha male, right? Because if I go the spectrum, like our common friend, like the fashion guy,
Yes.
right? Like guys like this, like alpha friends of mine, they can bang like 100 other girls, and the wife will be okay. He just tells like, yeah, I have to do it for my work, da da da.
Yeah.
Like on the other spectrum, I'm getting hardcore beta males to my free consultations all the time, and he's like a 51-year-old fat wife. And he has to write down every time he goes out. He has to write down on a paper like what he's doing and report.
Are you kidding me?
So he cannot do pickup because his wife is controlling him. We have to work around that.
She's probably cheating.
Yeah, 100%. But so that's the spectrum. Like if you're weak, you're gonna be treated like this.
Yeah.
So just become an alpha male. Very simple.
Yeah.
Also, I would say like learn Japanese. It really
100%.
helps.
Must.
If you only speak English, tough. Really.
Yeah. If you meet it, like it's a rare like. Okay, if a girl speaks Japanese or English, I'm like, who taught you that shit? Like, where'd you learn that? Like, wait, what was his name? Because it wasn't like Kenji, your Japanese teacher. Where'd you learn? Who taught you the word swag? Like, how do you know what low key means?
And those Inaka girls, they don't speak English usually, so if you want to pick them up, Japanese. And they are more down to earth, I would say, than girls who were born in Tokyo.
The countryside girls?
Countryside girls.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Countryside girls are like angels, bro.
More down to earth, yeah.
Yeah. Way better.
But Japanese, learn Japanese.
Kadeem, thanks for being on here.
Yeah, no problem. I think when you come to Japan, you have to leave the idea that you had of Japan behind, because you'll come here and be probably disappointed, in some shape or form or something like that. So, come being open, thinking to experience it, how it is, how it's given to you. Because if you come thinking everything's going to be like you can come thinking everyone's going to be super nice and stuff like that, then you're fall for the facade of everyone kind of lying to your face, and you're not knowing that there's something here, it's tatamai, they don't want to show you their true feelings. So you kind of have to navigate that differently. So just be open to, a different culture, and don't try to judge it based off of what you think it is already. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. See for yourself. My friend Cesar.
So I think, we've been kind of negative the whole show, but to finish on a positive note, the first year in Japan, it should be fun. You're going to be smashing like foreign hunter girls. That's fine. Enjoy that. But if you want to find something meaningful, maybe go to the countryside, meet someone who's not exposed to Tokyo as much, and you should have a good time. Just long-term relationships, they don't tend to go as well as you might expect.
You got to get out of Tokyo. Cities, man. City girls are for the streets, man. No matter where you are.
100%.
The grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah, like if you're planning to come to Tokyo, just make sure it's not like mainly for dating, because like Tokyo is not the best. Like if you want to come to Japan, then go to Fukuoka. The girls are hotter there. They're a lot easier.
Don't give them the sauce. Don't give them the good spaces.
We don't say that.
Don't say that.
Come to Tokyo. The good girls are in Tokyo.
Only Roppongi.
And also, like, don't be like falling in love with like the first girl you meet.
Oh,
Because,
good
like,
luck.
A lot of the time, like,
good
they
luck.
like are the biggest sluts, and because like you're so delusional, you don't like see any of it. So just like be careful.
Yeah, this is like, I met this tourist guy. He was like here for 4 weeks or something, and he's like, I'm in love with this girl, bro. I'm like, everyone I know has smashed her. But and he was like, really? She loves me. I'm like, she has smashed every single person I know, and it just broke his heart. But
so bad.
I mean, I had to tell him because I don't want him to go marry that girl that's been around
I know
so
a guy
much.
like that right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I smashed this girl, and he's like in love. I'm like, dog, don't.
It's like, dog, you don't know
Don't
what
do
she
it, bro.
has done. Like, like, it would just like blow his mind.
Red flag.
Crimson red.
Yeah, so I'd say, just like Kadeem said, don't let your, your prejudgments determine how you're going to interact with girls. I would say if you're going to come to Tokyo, just mostly come for fun. And if like a girl comes in into your world of fun, then yeah, that's good. I'd say also with the girls, their negative traits, there's also the positive side. So they can be like conniving and tactical with their lying, but then that can also like the opposite side. They're also mindful and conscientious, you know, like I said. So I wouldn't say only focus on the negative parts, but also there's a flip side where they also have like really redeeming qualities if you find the right one. Yeah.
Phenomenal. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you, everybody who's watching us around the world. Leave your comments in the description box or in the comment section below. All these gentlemen, if you want to ask them questions, their Instagrams, Kadeem is a YouTuber, Johannes is a YouTuber as well. Check them out. These guys are all very cool. They came all the way out here to the studio here live in Tokyo. Thank you for being here. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe, and then we'll see you next time. Until then, peace out.
Thank you.